I'm at Grace Church Road. I went to Waynesboro to bring this man down to this address. And now he's trying to force his way into a house. I'm afraid to move my vehicle. Just fighting in there.
It's inside the house now?
Yeah.
You have your doors locked?
It's open. I'm in a van.
You need to make yourself safe, okay? Even if you've got to drive away from there to get away from him and close that and lock that door. Do that for me now, please.
Okay, wait a minute.
Boom.
Boom. Hey, everyone. How is everyone tonight?
Guys.
Let's all welcome Deb.
Hey guys, good to see you.
How are you, Deb?
I'm good. I'm tired.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Happy
Happy
Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there.
Yeah.
What do you do today?
Let's see. What did I not do today? Actually, I just kind of vegged out until it was time to go over to my daughter's house for dinner. Because I had a garage sale on Friday and Saturday.
Oh.
The week before that, for a week, my parents were here. The weekend before that, my son had graduation. We had a big dinner for him. So I'm tired.
And you haven't missed a beat. You've been around Facebook. I mean, you've been around YouTube, as well. So.
Yeah. Been on a couple channels the last week. I was on a couple channels, and now with you. Yay. I couldn't resist. I mean, I was tired, but when you said, please, I'll pay you, I said, okay.
Did I say please?
I'm just kidding.
I'm glad you're here.
Thanks.
For everyone, Sunny was camping this weekend, so she is taking the night off because she was exhausted when she got home, and so I was like,
she was kidnapped.
Yeah, I was like, your Mother's Day present was I'll do the live. Deb and I'll handle it. And it's funny though, her messages looked like a different verbiage than she normally uses. So I hope no one was using her phone.
I know. She was almost kidnapped. She's gonna have a story about it.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
I'm not going to tell her story. I'm going to let her tell it, but
yeah,
it's going to be worth it when she's back on. So be listening in, people.
Absolutely. I'll say some hellos in the chat really quick.
Lisa.
Miss Dog Lover says, "Happy Mother's Day to my American friends." Hey, Miss Dog Lover. Hey, Ray Jones. He's a mother something. Hey, Jess. Good to see you. Oh, my cursor's not working right now. TTM Fangirl, How are you? There's Deb's True Crime Notebook. How are you? Virgo 22, good to see you. Shelly, good to see you. There's Miss Dog Lover again. Lisa says Happy Mother's Day, Deb. Oh,
thank you, Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa. I guess I didn't get a Happy Mother's Day, but that's fine. Were they speculating we weren't going to come on until 10:09? Oh, look, it's 10:09 now, and we've been on for 5 minutes.
That's funny.
Right. Lisa again. Oh, I skipped a whole bunch. Hey, CJK.
Lisa said Ray was trying to buy a lock of my hair.
I'm sure he'd like one. Hey, Sees Through, Midnight Rider, Michelle, good to see you. Sharon Parker, Happy Mother's Day. Oh, this is annoying. Sorry, my cursor is being so stupid. Boston Christian, good to see you. Wow, someone's hogging the chat. Definitely.
Mustang, I think you mean you're glad Sonny didn't get kidnapped or eaten by bears.
Absolutely. And there's Grandma Watches and hello to Mustang. Sorry if I skipped anyone. My cursor was being a little weird. It did the same thing the other day when I was live with Fig. I don't know why. But hey, Phil Bond.
Hey, Phil.
So, what do you want to talk about tonight, Deb?
I don't know.
I didn't really have an agenda other than just wanting to come on and, wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. And I thought we could talk about Delphi a little bit or whatever you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, and Flora. I think we should talk about Flora. A lot of the creators we've deemed it Flora Week.
Yeah, so I was telling you, someone tagged me in on YouTube for creators asking, like for all the creators to do content about Flora this week.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was Flora Week. But can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. I think that Meow Zedong started it, and it's a great idea. And she had Galen on her show this evening. Okay. And Galen was on at least once last week as well. And so all this week, the creators are going to do things to promote the case and try to keep things moving and see what we can do to help out. And also, oh my goodness, and maybe I have it and I can send it to you. There's a link to buy a t-shirt to support. And it says 4 angels on the front and has their names on the back. So on the back it says, I don't think it has last names. I think it just says Kiana, Kiera, Cariel, and Keone. So yeah, it's a black. You can get it in a sweatshirt or a t-shirt. Very nice looking. I ordered one a couple days ago, and it goes to a great cause. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And so for anyone that is not familiar with Flora, do you want to let everyone know who Galen is?
Say that again.
For anyone not familiar with the Flora case, do you want to let everyone know who Galen is?
Yeah. Okay, so a young mom, single mom, Galen Rose is her name, and she had 4 beautiful little girls, ranging from 11 down to 5, I think. Yeah, Keone was the youngest at 5, and they were into competitive cheerleading, and one of them played basketball, and they were just precious, adorable little girls. They lived in a home that they rented in Flora, Indiana. That was owned by the Ayers family, and it was a big house. I believe there were 4 stories to it, and there were 2 tenants that lived there, Galen and her family, and then someone else.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that it was a duplex. I did not.
Yeah.
Or if I did, I forgot.
Yeah. And I guess they had renovated that home because initially there was only a shower in the bathroom downstairs, she said, and upstairs there was a place for a shower, or might have been a shower, but they renovated that, put in a tub, and made a full bathroom upstairs for the other tenant. But it was split. Okay, so you could go upstairs from her. She had the whole downstairs plus part of the upstairs.
And then there was
that's where the girls' bedrooms were. And then it was sectioned off, and there was a separate entrance that went up, kind of the side to.
That was the stairwell on the side.
Right, stairwell to the side to the other tenants' portion of it. Okay, so they had been at a cheerleading tournament, and they got home at midnight the night before the fire, and they got home at midnight. She put the girls in bed. The oldest was almost 12, I believe, and she worked across the street at the marathon, so she could see her home from where she was. And being a single mom, sometimes you cannot afford to get a babysitter. Okay, so she put them to bed. They were exhausted. They didn't even take their makeup off from the competitive cheerleading. They just went straight to bed. And so that was midnight the day before, and they slept all the way through. Everything was fine. So then that next day she was asleep downstairs and woke up and smelled smoke and tried to get to her girls, and the heat was so bad and the smoke that she couldn't. She ran out of the house and neighbors heard her. One of the neighbors called the owner of the house first before calling fire department, as I understand it. Now, I'm going to backtrack on that because there is also some speculation that it was just that she called the fire department first, but that it didn't go through or something. Okay, so we're not 100% on that. Somebody else might be able to clarify that. And I can't really see the chat right now. It looks like so if anybody, Lisa has a lot of information about this, so she might be able to help on that as well in the chat. So anyway, Josh Ayers and Dissinger, is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah, I believe so.
Were the police officers that arrived first. They arrived before the fire department, even though the police station was 9.4 miles away, and the fire department was just like within running distance. Okay, and so they got there, and let me look at my notes here. So I want to make sure I get the names right. Drew Yoder. Did I say Josh Ayers?
You did.
Drew Yoder. And
you had me for a minute being like, wasn't it? But
yeah. I'm sorry. Drew Yoder was the other police officer, and so he ran right in and tried to get up the stairs and also could not. But they didn't have any gear, and he is also a volunteer fire department, and so he ran back out, got in his car, drove to the fire department, yelled at them to get a move on, that there were people still in the house, and he got some kind of gear and ran back to the house, went in, and he tried again and got into some trouble, and he ended up injured and in the hospital. He was burned and had smoke inhalation. The mom also, people say the mom wasn't harmed. Yes, she was. She went to the hospital. She was in the hospital. And so his buddy Dissinger had to go in after him and drag him out. And then the fire department arrived around that time. Now, At first they said a couple things were, said different. At first they said it was not arson. Then they said it was arson and that several accelerants were used. When it was all said and done, they came back and said there's a likelihood that only one accelerant was used. And I believe they said that was formaldehyde.
I believe so. And there's still even speculation over that. I know.
Yes. And I want to point out that formaldehyde is also used in the making of many laminate floorings.
Yes,
so it could very well be that that's what they were picking up on.
It's also in a lot of keratin treatments for anyone that gets their hair.
Really?
Yep.
I did not know that. How about that? So that's, that is in a nutshell what happened there. The mom, has since moved back to, I think, California. The fire chief stepped down. Robert Ives was the prosecutor at that time. And
this was November of 2016 for anyone that isn't familiar with it.
Yeah. Just looking at my notes here. I believe there was insurance paid out. Oh, you know what I want to go back to? There is a big old rumor going around that Becky Patty appraised that house. She did. Absolutely did. But that she appraised that old rickety 4-story house for $442,000. That is not accurate. I have the appraisal. It was appraised for $44,200. Whoever started this rumor did not put the comma in the proper place. Okay. And there is and people are using that as a reason to say that, Libby was helping with filing that day and she stumbled on it and found it and knew that was the reason that, the Flora fires happened, etc. And that's why they were unalived. No, that is not true. Libby did help with filing that day. The appraisal was for $44,200. I have the appraisal. Anybody that wants to see it, I'll be glad. I post it in my Facebook group. I've already posted it, I think, on my community section. So if that's why you think that family or someone was involved, or if you think that Becky appraised that house for $400,000, please know that that's not true. And, I'm going to ask people, when you see that printed somewhere, please try to straighten out. I know you want to know the truth, and you want the truth shared. And I know that that's why people are working diligently and looking and searching and trying. It's not to be mean and malicious. Well, there might be some that are.
Some are.
Yeah, some are. But for the most part, it's just because, they really, really want this solved, and they have a passion. And I want you to have the same passion for real truth and real reality. So please share that, and let's get that straightened out so we can move on to finding real good connections, if we can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you said that, because either I forgot that there was another tenant there, or I didn't know it. Because I know that's been a question a lot of people have is, especially when the body cam footage came out, which I watched twice. I don't care to ever watch it again. It was so heartbreaking to watch the body cam footage from them responding to that. But, I even myself had the thought, why didn't they try to access the girls from the outside entrance on the side? But with like what you're saying, that makes complete sense, that if there was no access to the girls from that outside entrance, because it was to the tenant's apartment.
Right.
And just little things like that, that people don't have clarity on, and then I remember hearing the rumor that, that Galen was not home, that she was at a bar down the street. That was one of the first rumors I ever heard about Flora. Mm-hmm. And, I know there was a lot of blaming going on with Galen.
Yeah.
I can't imagine losing your 4 children and then turning around and having everyone.
Yeah. I think because there are people out there in the world that harm or unalive their own children,
of course,
that people automatically go right there. It's got to be family. But it's not always family. And so, Galen was home. And the reason that the tenants above got out is because they heard her screaming. They heard Galen screaming for help, and that there was a fire. So if she was down the street at a bar, they wouldn't have been alerted.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know everything about Flora. But, hey, according to Fig, Hannah Shakespeare and Fig and I are going to make a documentary about it. So stay tuned. I was like, I'm in. Lisa said, Coach Kev deemed it Flora.
With all your documentary skills.
Hey, Hannah and I would work
well.
You're
good. Hey, you're a good researcher, though. You are. You're an excellent researcher.
I don't think I'd be too bad on camera either.
Yeah, you're pretty good on camera.
Yeah, Coach Kev that's the person that tagged me. Thank you, Lisa. I'm not familiar with that person, but that is who tagged me in that post.
Yeah. Who was it that I can hardly see the chats here.
It was somebody named Coach Kev.
Coach Kev, yeah. He's a fireman.
Oh, is he? Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, he has some great, information and videos about it, and some incredible insight.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I will check him out.
Yeah, you guys check him out. Subscribe to his channel. I like him. He deals in truth.
Nice. That's always good. Yeah, I mean, I saw my name, or someone sent it to me that I was tagged in it, and I was like, oh, what's this?
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Yep.
Grandma Sora says, I'm worn out. We had kids and grandkids for cookout playing freeze tag for young people, and they kept laughing at my short legs. Aw. Grandma, did you hit them?
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, I'm just catching up on chat just a little bit.
Yeah.
CJK says, what about all the Delphi drama going on? It's unreal. Don't know what you're talking about.
There's a lot of Delphi drama. People are coming up. It's really frustrating, I think, because all the old things that I thought we were past, and we were on the path of looking at what's actually occurred and moving forward, we've got a lot of new people come in, so they're all just learning all that old stuff and don't have all the information, and they're wanting to look through it and examine it, and it's just all bubbling up and again.
Wow.
And yeah.
You know, it's funny because I stay I kind of stay a little blind to a lot of that stuff because I don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
So it's always funny to me when people are like, "Oh, do you hear about this or that?" And I'm like, "Nope." But I don't want to be a part of it either. So
yeah,
the less I hear my name, the
there's
better.
some wonderful new people in it. I love Ruckus. He's great. And so there, you know, I'm not going to go through the whole list, but there's some wonderful new people who are, you know, in here and looking at things from a very logical standpoint. And, you know,
Yeah.
it never hurts to look at things, but we have to be really careful, you know. You have to be really, really careful of who
I
you're
agree.
blaming.
Absolutely.
Because we're dealing with real people and real hearts. And these families have been through a lot already.
I agree 100%. And that was something that I complimented Hannah on with the documentary that, you know, Fig released, was that I thought that she did a very great job, and whoever edited it as well. I thought it was done in a very respectful, objective manner, but still one that explored different avenues, yet remained humane, or, you know, kept humanity and empathy.
Yeah.
And that was done by Hannah, clearly.
Oh, yeah. She did a great job. I was so impressed. Just real quickly, Midnight Rocker said I saw something about Yaron Vandersloot being extradited to the U.S. Yes, he is going to be extradited to the U.S. He's, as Adam pointed out last time, he's fighting extradition, but he will be, and he's going to be facing the whole thing, you know, what he's done. And I couldn't be happier because it's been a long time coming. And
Yeah,
Natalie Holloway was probably the second case that I was real interested in and read a lot about.
Yeah, it was 18 years, right? 2005.
Yeah, she would be 36 years old. Can you believe that?
And I believe the it would have been right around now.
Yeah,
because it was her senior trip.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and yes, I mean, sadly, he won't be facing charges for anything related to her disappearance or her death, but at least it's something, you know, because if everyone remembers, he tried to what's the word? When you try to con someone out of money.
Yeah, he tried to get money from them. I know the word. I can't think of the word.
Yeah, he said for $25,000 he would lead them to, or he would lead Natalie's mother to her body.
He initially said $250,000.
Yeah.
And so she sent a portion of that, and then she sent another portion and told him he would get the remainder when they located Natalie. And what he did is after he got $25,000, he took off with it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was saying, so my understanding is he's fighting the extradition, but it has been signed off on by a judge in Peru and also a diplomat in the U.S., which are the two requirements that he'd have to be extradited.
Yeah.
And that what'll happen is once the process goes through where he tries to fight extradition, which he'll lose, and he will get extradited, that he'll come to the U.S. On those charges, and he might be here for a couple of years because he'll have to go through the entire court process of that coming to trial and the trial happening, and then what'll happen after the trial, if he's convicted, he will then return to Peru to finish his sentence in Peru for killing a Peruvian girl on the 5-year anniversary of Natalie's disappearance, Stephanie Flores.
Yeah.
And then once I don't think Peru has life in prison, so I think he'll get out when he's like 55 or something. So then once his sentence is up in Peru, he then will come to the U.S. to serve his sentence if convicted.
For that.
And the word is escaping me. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I know. I can't think of what it is. It's basically blackmail.
Yeah.
Give me money. I'll give you information.
Right. Although I was reading
I put out a little video about that. That's probably where you saw that.
Oh, excellent. And if anyone's not subscribed to Deb's channel, make sure you go subscribe to Deb's True Crime Notebook.
Thank you. Somebody drop a link.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, back to what were we talking about?
We were kind of going. We were talking about Flora, and then somebody brought up Delphi. But I do want to say really quickly, Miss Dog Lover, thank you so much. I hope you had an amazing time in Greece. And
she's back.
That was so sweet of you. She says, "Hey guys, good to be home and see you again. I had a bad fall in Greece and smashed my knees. A bloody mess. Otherwise, a good holiday. Seems I can't go on holiday without some kind of drama." Miss Dog Lover, I feel bad for you, but have you been? Just playing.
Thank you, CD. CD's in the chat.
Uh-oh.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So this week, if you can, and if any of the mods are in here, if you have that link to purchase the t-shirts, the Flora t-shirts, if anybody does, any of the mods, if they could post it in the chat. They're a really nice looking t-shirt, and it'd be great to support the little girls and to help support, Galen and
of course, yeah. Midnight Rocker. Yes, Flora, Indiana is in Carroll County. It's what is it, about 10 miles from Delphi?
Probably
8 miles, something like that.
Probably, yeah. Very close. Very, very close. But yeah, so I will tell you that this evening, as I was watching Galen Rose, I don't think that she thinks that it was arson. I think that she thinks that there was some type of electrical issue, because she said that there were several times when there had been 2 different tenants, and there were several times under both of those tenants where the breaker box was in her apartment and there was a problem, a short happening or something that was tripping the breaker box, and they had to call her and ask her to please go flip the switch in the breaker box.
Oh, wow.
So that is what she's leaning towards now, is that it was something like that, and maybe a leak of some sort.
Really? So the girl's own mother is there, so Galen right now is not under the impression that it was arson.
Yeah, that's the indication I got from what she was saying tonight on Meow's show.
Really? Wow. I know there was always something around also about, was it the oven or the microwave?
The oven, the range.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a problem with the range, and there were that was the other thing, is that there were no batteries in the alarms, and the little fire alarms in the ceiling. I can't talk tonight. I must be really tired.
Fire detectors.
Thank you.
Smoke detectors. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there were no batteries in the smoke detectors. I don't know why. I don't know if the batteries had died, or, sometimes those things are, whistling really loud, and people take them out and they intend to replace them, and maybe they don't have the money that week and they don't. I'm not sure what happened.
Or you get the inevitable, the ones that are wired in and the battery, and then you get the battery's dying, you get the slow beep, but then you change the battery and it doesn't stop.
And you can't tell which one's beeping. And
so you're like ripping them off the wall basically for your own sanity.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we've all done it.
Keep batteries and put the battery right back in there.
Yeah.
It's important.
See, everyone use this as your reminder to check your smoke detectors.
Yeah, please do. In honor of the little Flora girls.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Sharon Parker says Delphi deputies got there before the fire department, from what I heard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. But as I said, they were both also, I believe, volunteer firemen.
Right. I believe they both were. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was a volunteer fire department, as I understand it.
Hey, CD, what? No Happy Mother's Day to me? So lame. Okay.
CD says, Aspen Deb, read Lisa's comments. Let me see. No telling what Lisa has said. Something about where she spent. I was going to send some of my research to Cold Truth, but I didn't have it all written out. Within a day, I stumbled upon something that was thin, but also had merit when I found it. She called in that tip to Homeland Security. Is that what you're saying, CD?
Oh, well, I'm like 15 minutes behind in the chat. Let me.
I'm just scrolling around looking, trying to. Yeah, let's see.
Okay.
At least the Homeland Security. I didn't think they had anything to do with the murder in a little town. And then, oops, didn't mean to say that word.
Oh wait, we know this person. Hey, Sonny.
Oh no, she's back.
Go back to bed, Sonny.
The kidnappers let her go once she started talking. They're like, pull over, let her out.
She solved her own kidnapping. Extort. Thank you, Sonny.
Extortion. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Sonny.
That's how far back I was in the chat.
Oh, wait a minute. It's just too funny that she's the one that came up with the.
Well, Monique from California said extort also.
Okay.
So I apologize that I was so far behind. Like I said, my cursor's being really silly with the chat. So
yeah. She says we missed her first comment.
oh, I'm sorry. I'll go back and try to find it.
Delphi, let's see, Midnight Rocker wants to know more. What county is the Delphi case going to be in? I know they have something coming up in June. Delphi is Carroll County, and the judge is from Fort Wayne, which is Allen County, but the judge is going to come to Delphi, to the courthouse, and the court will be there.
The jury will also be from Allen County.
Right. The jury will be from Allen County in Fort Wayne, which is, pretty far away, an hour and 50 minutes probably. Yeah. So almost 2 hours.
Depending on the time of the day that you look at Google Maps, because sometimes they'll tell you like an hour and 45 minutes, hour and 55.
Yeah. But, yeah. And it depends on the traffic.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So there will be some separation there. People that might not have heard about the case or don't know much about it anyway.
Yeah, and I think as of right now, that's scheduled for June
15th, 18th?
15th, yeah, 15th.
15th. Yeah, because Kagan Klein will be, his will be May 18th.
Yes, which is Friday, right? Right?
Yep. I think that's right. Which is my dad's birthday.
Thursday. And then I think, unless it's changed, I think Garrett Kurtz has a hearing on the 17th, which is Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly right. It's going to be a busy, busy week.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to see what's going to happen when Kagan goes in, all of this information, his situation is, decided. And I'm curious to see what will happen from that point with the Delphi case.
You mean to see if there's any connection?
Yeah, exactly. Because so far, every time that something happened with Kagan's case, boom, the Delphi case has something.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. I know a few people that are going to the hearing on Thursday. So I'm not quite sure. One of them asked me if I wanted to do like a live stream while they were there. Mm-hmm. But I was trying to figure out how. Yeah. So you never know. Maybe.
Yeah.
So was there anything else you wanted to talk about with Flora before we?
I think just basically asking people to, be watching this week for more coverage as we, do a Flora week in honor of them, and to help, promote this case and see if we can get it resolved for whatever the truth is, whether it was an accident or whether it was arson. We need to get that taken care of for these girls and for Gayla and their mom. And just, if you have a chance to buy one of those t-shirts, did anyone find that link, by the way? If not, I'll go try and find it when let Adam talk, and I'll try to find it. So
And we can always post it later on the community page or the
yeah.
description of the video.
You know, if you can contribute in that way, do it. And
Stephanie says that strange Homeland Security would be handling tips, not the FBI even.
okay, I'm going to look for that link. So, yep, that's about it with Flora. All that I can think of right now.
Okay. So C-Stu says, even though this is a question for CD, C-Stu says, what sentence do you think Keegan will get? What do you think? What are your thoughts, Deb?
Say that again. What?
What sentence do you think Keegan will get? I mean, I know we're guessing, but.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he's going to get a light sentence, and if he does, then I'm going to believe that he is cooperating in some way. Just because of the fact that this is such a high-profile case, I think they're going to want to make an example out of him.
I agree.
And I think that he'll get, unless he is cooperating, as I said, and giving evidence to them, which they say he's not. They say there's no deal, but who knows about that? I think that he will get a really, really stiff sentence.
Okay. And CD posted that link, Deb.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, CD. So you guys, please go and help out there.
Right. CD's answer was, let's hope the judge drops the hammer. I want to see the book thrown at him, but something keeps telling me he's going to get 10. Yeah, and CD and I have been pretty much on the same page with that. I was saying 8 to 10, probably serve 6 to 8. But it's just my guess. Mm-hmm. I know some people have said time served. I don't think that's the case.
Oh, I don't think so either.
I think some people have said 20 years. I think it's somewhere going to be between like what CD and I are saying and like what you said and what like 20 years. But
yeah.
But we're all just guessing.
Right. We're guessing. I think there would be such an uproar if he got time served.
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I don't even think he would expect that unless, there's something we don't know.
Right.
I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Midnight Rocker says, do you think the two cases are combined?
Are combined or connected?
I would assume just being connected.
I think that it's really logical that he is involved in some way, because we know that he was talking with Libby and catfishing her, making her think that he was Anthony Schatz, and one of the last people that spoke to her. We also have we also have law enforcement saying these things in what was the affidavit? Was it? No, yeah. They were saying that you were trying to meet with her. You were in contact with her. And we also have in the latest murder sheets video, his ex-girlfriend saying, for whatever it's worth, we don't know if she heard it from him, if she heard it from the public. We don't know if she heard it from the police. But she is saying that he was talking to the girls the day before and trying to arrange meeting up with them. Again, we don't know where she got the information, but that's what she has said. So I think that there's got to be a connection. Whether he was directly involved with their unaliving or directly involved with the catfishing to get them there, or that his accounts, he was sharing his accounts and someone used information. It could be one of those two things, but he's connected somehow. What do you think?
My gut tells me there has to be a connection somehow. And if it were any other case, I would be 100% in that it was connected. But there have been other strange coincidences with Delphi.
Yeah, that's true.
So if it were any other case, I would say absolutely. I've always thought there was a connection. I still think there probably is. I did talk to a family member of one of the girls about this, and they said they honestly don't know. They haven't been told anything more than the public knows as far as if there's anything connected beyond the catfishing.
Mm-hmm.
And so my next question was, after the sentencing, are the people that are under the gag order for Delphi then released from the gag order, in reference to Keegan Kline? Because to me, that would be the most telling thing, whether they think there's still a connection, if the gag order is still applicable about Keegan Kline once he's been sentenced. Because if it's not connected, those two cases should be completely separate, and anyone that's connected to Delphi should be able to talk about Keegan Kline.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my speculation, so I don't know.
And so you asked them that? And they
didn't know. They said they've not spoken. They've not heard anything more than, and maybe they don't want to tell. But and I was sure I was careful to ask in a way that they wouldn't be violating anything by answering me.
Right. Obviously. Sisu says, Carter said, we will keep working on Keegan. Does this indicate he believes he is involved? I think it indicates that they think or thought he could be.
Well, I think they absolutely thought he was connected.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no other reason they would have used the Anthony Schatz tip line. Was the same as the girls.
Exactly. Right.
Keegan Kline's judge is, oh my gosh. It's not Skin. Is that his lawyer? SK something.
It's all running together. Okay. Anybody put it in the chat? Both of us are running on fumes today. Judge or lawyer?
Timothy Spar?
Yes, Spar. Judge Spar.
Yeah.
Timothy
Spar.
It's
SPAHR.
Exactly.
And that's in Miami County.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm down at the bottom of the chat now.
Now I'm trying to get back on the channel.
Oh my God.
Okay. And there we go. I got it back.
Keegan equals tentacles. CD, is that the one you want me to read? Absolutely.
I'm sorry, what?
CD said Keegan equals tentacles.
Well, we do know, I'll tell you, there have been, since all this unfolded, there have been so many arrests in Indiana for CSAM. It's every day you see a list of people. And sometimes there's a list of 30 or more people. And they did that bust because they were all connected somehow.
Right.
So I will say that if nothing else, at least that has happened. That, we're getting some of these people off the street.
Yeah, I go back and forth between wanting to slam my head into a brick wall sometimes.
It's frustrating, and even, like I said, I don't want to be judgmental because there are creators that have some good ideas and then they're lost in some rabbit hole because there's so many rabbit holes. And, most of them are really good people and they're just looking for the truth. There are a couple that don't care and have said they don't care. Yeah. They don't care who they hurt.
I mean, it's sometimes just when you think you can't hear you've already heard the most ludicrous thing in your mind regarding Delphi and conspiracy and and different theories. I have to say, the last week and a half, it's hit a new low as far as some of this stuff that I'm like, and it's even coming from some people I've respected in the past, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it literally just makes me kind of sit here and be like, am I the crazy one? Because I know I'm not.
Yeah. And I have to step away from it because I start to get angry, and I'm just not a person who wants to be angry with people. I mean, I've said that before. I love people, and I feel that, like I said, I feel most of those people are sincere in what they're trying to do, and I don't want to be angry at anyone. So I just step away from it a little bit and just try, when things are being misinterpreted or said wrong, like the appraisal for the Flora house, straighten it out and do it in a kind way.
Right.
You don't need to
or the
jump down their
timeline.
throat.
I believe, people have been saying there's no way that, if the timeline given in the PCA and the timeline that the young witness spoke about with Hannah Shakespeare, if those times are true, then how could it be Richard Allen? They're like, it doesn't work. It's 5 minutes. It absolutely works.
Yeah.
I've talked to multiple people that have been on those trails and said, from those points to the bridge, 100% works.
Right.
So to me, it's just people cherry picking information into fit the narrative they already want it to fit. And then they go down their crazy, harmful rabbit hole that they think doesn't matter. But, sadly, it could.
Yeah, it could. And false information, that gives, some ammunition. All those rumors give ammunition to the defense.
Absolutely.
And so we have to be really careful what we're saying and what we're promoting.
Right.
And, when somebody says, oh, well, they were dropped off at 1:45, and the next time they say 1:47, that's not a discrepancy.
Right.
That's not a discrepancy. That could be like the first time they said it, they were guesstimating, and then they remembered they got a message about that time and looked at it, and it was 1:47. That happens, especially when you've been in shock. If something so traumatic has happened and you have been in shock, your mind just can't function.
Right. And we currently have Richard Allen's defense team speaking to YouTubers, speaking to Reddit people. They are grasping at straws because their excuse is they don't have the information from the prosecutor's office. I don't know how true that is. And so they're literally grasping at straws for any holes they can poke in the prosecution story. And, one of the big ones they're using is Ron Logan. And, all these people out there that are so adamant about these things, and they're so, I don't even, I don't think a lot of people realize the harm they could be doing.
Right.
I am all for Richard Allen getting a fair trial and for every piece of evidence coming to light. I just, from what I've seen of the defense so far, they clearly are willing to go down roads that are unfortunate, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean.
And that's not speculation.
Right. And that's the other thing. I've heard people say, oh, well, there's not any YouTubers that have any connections. And that's absolutely not true.
It's absolutely not true.
You'd be shocked at people that will contact you. I'm not going to say who or what, but I mean, you and I both know that we had over an hour-long interview that we've never revealed, in Sunny too, with somebody who was a direct witness in an unaliving. And we've heard every single bit of that information.
Yeah.
That's something that will never come out,
Yeah. I mean,
at least until that case is solved. But
as far as Delphi right now, I mean, I know of a creator or two that are themselves reaching out to Andrew Baldwin, mainly to push the narrative they believe happened. And I know of 5 people that the defense has contacted. And these are people that do not have direct firsthand knowledge. These are people that have theories and people that have been around and know things, but they're not people that are directly involved in this case. Yeah. And that to me is scary.
Yeah.
Because that's what some of the defense is building their thought process on. And I don't think that that's, but
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
That is actually just crazy. Absolutely crazy. And, and it makes you wonder, where is the legal line there?
I mean,
with putting yourself, directly in there and trying to, is there anything that could get these people in trouble for doing that? Not that we want to get them in trouble, just, is there anything legally that they could be accused of messing with a case?
We don't know that we don't know that the defense will use anything that all I'm saying is that I know they have reached out and have attempted to speak to YouTubers.
Yeah.
As far as what they're told by YouTubers, to me the bigger question it raises is, what if they think someone's onto something or someone has information that could be pertinent, and as a YouTuber, I don't want subpoenaed.
No.
That to me is completely harmful. I don't want to be a part of a story. I want to talk about a story and I want to research a story. I don't want to be a part of it.
Right.
And I assume most people are the same way.
Right. I mean, we don't, there's speculation from law enforcement even that there's somebody else involved, and there could be, and I'm not saying that Ron Logan wasn't involved. I don't know. Okay. We don't know that, but he was not the person on the bridge. And, could he have been involved in some other way? Maybe. Same that we don't know 100% that Kagan was. But,
I don't believe that he was involved at all.
I don't think he was either, but
right. I agree with Stephanie here. I think if Ron Logan had anything to do with it, they would have got him on something because they tried very, very hard.
Yeah. Apparently Ray is answering the questions here. Have I ever tried to get an interview with Robert Ives? No, I have not.
I know that Greg Hughes has talked to him. I don't think they ever did an interview. I don't think, but I know that they've spoken.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm sure he's under the gag order as well. Having been former prosecutor in the case, I'm sure that he is under the gag order. He's, I think he said some interesting things.
CJ Kate, that guy's a crack pot. Sorry.
What?
They commented. One guy said he has proof for things pointing to Logan's guilt. I read that comment. Someone sent it to me, and I have to say that guy is wow. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
One guy said he has proof for things pointing to Logan's guilt. Lovely. Ray Lillis said so herself. Said what? What did she say? Oh, but anyway, I was talking about Robert Ives, and I was saying, I thought, he said some interesting things, but I think people might have read more into what he was saying. He was talking about there was a lot more physical evidence. And he was talking about a case that he had before where someone shot someone. And the body was there, the bullet was there. You walk in, it's clean cut case. And he compared that to Libby and Abby's situation. And that's where he said there was a lot more physical evidence in Libby and Abby's case than the story he was talking about where someone walked in, shot their loved one or boyfriend or whatever, and the bullet's right there in the wall, and it was clean, cut and dry case. So, he left me. So, that's what he was talking about. He didn't say there was a lot of evidence or there was a ton of evidence left at the scene. He was saying there was a lot more evidence than a situation like that. And people read more into that.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah. And he also said that it's not what you would think it is. So that, I think that opened a can of worms as well.
Right. Is he the one that said there are things you'd want to take pictures of as well? It's been so long since I listened to that one interview.
He said something to the effect that there were possibly 3. Somebody said, were there anything that could be described as signatures at the scene? And he said possibly 3 that would be something that you might want to take a picture of.
Okay.
Look like. And in my opinion, that was the posing.
Could be.
In my opinion, it was the posing. And, that people who, there are different reasons that people want to commit unalivings like that. And one of them is for fantasy. And usually when you see posing, you see someone trying to pose them because that's part of their fantasy in their mind. So I think where that comes in. And a lot of times people will take a picture, I don't know what to call them, unalivers. Someone like Richard Allen, if he did it, would want to take a picture of that, because they want to reminisce about it afterwards. So I think maybe that's what he was talking about.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's easy.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's easy to hear that, and your imagination gets big. This is nothing like our imaginations. I mean, think about it. When you're listening to a story, your imagination is unbelievable. That's why when you read a book, usually you're disappointed with the movie, because actually seeing it play out is not as great and creative as your imagination.
Well, and that can even happen with when you see something on camera as well. I mean, I know I talked about it a little bit, even though I've never done a video on Madeline McCann. When I went to the condo that she disappeared from, seeing it in person gave me a completely different perspective of the entire events, because of seeing how close the courtyard was that the parents were eating dinner in, and seeing where the condo was in the corner. And I just was having a conversation with John from Crime Scene to Courtroom. He went earlier last week. He went to the place where Nicola Bulley went missing, and that was the overwhelming thing that he and he put out a great video about it. But that was the overwhelming thing that he kept saying, as well, as that the whole area was so much smaller than he thought. And here we've watched countless videos on like these things, but then sometimes when you see them in person, because your mind does fill in blanks for things, and then you just kind of have an assumption, and then when it's presented in front of you, it changes. And I've heard the bridge is the same way. I've heard it's even scarier in person than it is on screen. And then I've heard that the area is completely kind of different than when you see it in person.
Yeah, I mean, and that was a point that I was thinking about earlier today. It bothers me when we have somebody over in another Australia or whatever, blaming the family or whoever, and they've never been to this area, seen it, or even had a conversation with a member of the family. I don't know, how do you, even law enforcement will interview all family members before they make a decision on like that. So it's a difference in having a theory and speculation, and a difference in stating that this is fact, this is truth. And whenever someone gives you facts that show what you're talking about can't be true, believe that. Don't go on with that. Say, okay, well then let's move to another theory. Let's think about this. Okay, if that's out, then instead of sticking to that and riding it all the way to wherever.
Right. And Lisa, I'm so sorry. If you need anything, we're here for you as well. CD says, Lisa, hang in there. Don't let anything eat you out from the inside. If you ever need to talk, there's my email, open and confidential. Definitely get that tip to Doug Carter. I agree. You will feel better. And then I saw Sunny say she has Doug Carter's email. I do as well. So if you need that, just reach out.
Yeah, definitely.
This whole like pulling the chat thing up was annoying me because like it's lagging on me. I don't know if it's me or StreamYard.
What is Cease Through asking? Aspen, did you check out? Oh, you're talking about the Madeline McCann.
I did. I have videos and I have pictures of that window. In my opinion, I think someone could get through it, but I do have videos and pictures of it, and I will get around to someday to doing that video. I want it to be really good, so it's the whole starting it that kind of overwhelms me, and then I just don't do it.
Yeah.
And the anniversary of that was just I think it was on the 4th of May.
Yeah.
You know, yesterday was the 6-month anniversary of Idaho.
This is the what?
Yesterday was the 6-month anniversary.
Oh, wow.
Since the Idaho quadruple homicides.
6 months.
Isn't that
and
crazy?
They would have been graduating, right?
This past weekend they held graduation, and they gave them posthumous degrees. I think that's the word for it. Which I know Kaylee's family has come out and pointed out her degree. She was done, so her degree should not be posthumous.
I'm sorry. This person, Sunny, Adam, and Deb all suffer from eating disorders.
You know what?
If you could have seen me eating that lasagna this evening, you wouldn't say that.
Now I can't click on anything for some reason in the chat.
People crack me up.
You can probably hear me try.
That was pretty creative. At least they're creative, right?
Block user. Oh wait, I blocked my first person.
Oh, woohoo! On Sunny's channel. Oh my gosh.
Hopefully I did it right.
People are silly.
My luck, I probably accidentally blocked Ray Jones.
I'm so crushed over that.
Sisu says that was Keegan. No, sadly, Sisu, Keegan's out of chirping funds, and no one will send him chirping funds this week.
Oh,
I know.
That's so sad.
There's trouble in paradise.
Oh my word.
So I know we've been on for an hour, and I don't want to keep you too much longer, Deb. But I did, I know this is Mother's Day, and I know we talked a little bit about the Hannah Shakespeare documentary. But considering, there was an interview in it from, both Carrie and Anna. And I think Becky deserves mention in that as well, because she stepped in and acted, in the mother role for, and is a mother. So, did you have any thoughts about any of those interviews that you kind of wanted to talk about?
I think that I want to mention Kelsey too, because not only is she going to be a mom
in August,
Yep, in a few short months, but in a conversation I had with Becky, she told me how much that Kelsey loved Livy, and that when they were young, that Kelsey was like a mother to Livy, that she took care of her. The parents were, having a struggle, and not to put them down. A lot of people go through struggles. And so Kelsey stepped up, and she was like a mom to Libby. And it was very difficult for her. Yeah.
And Carrie talks a little bit about, openly about the struggles her and Derek both had. In when she talks about Mike and Becky kind of stepping up to take guardianship.
Yes.
And I thought that was very, I agreed with Hannah 100% when she said that she was completely articulate, and I was really, really impressed with Carrie Timmons in that interview, and it made me want to see more of her.
I was too, and I liked her transparency. She was very, very sincere, very honest. I think she is just that kind of person, truthful, and my heart goes out to her. Anna always absolutely
Always.
breaks my heart. Becky too.
Yeah, I've never spoken to Carrie, but I mean, especially after watching that, it really, it made me, it made me want to hear more from her.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Right. Absolutely.
And then Anna, like you said, Anna, it breaks my heart. And like I was thinking about Anna earlier today, just because, I mean, I know this day can be difficult for people for a lot of reasons, whether, your mother's passed away, whether you have, you're estranged from your mother, whether you're estranged from your child,
whether you have not been able to have children or lost children.
Right. And, losing a child, I think, would be unimaginable regardless, but losing a child in this manner and having it your only child, have it be your only child, I can't even begin to circle my brain around that thought.
I know. Because she's lost so much. She's lost not her complete future, because I want her to know she does have a future, but she's lost a big part of her future. And I don't know how you deal with that. Her strength, I'm amazed at her to just keep pushing and keep going.
Yeah. And again, I don't want to make it sound like she has no life, because, people do have to put one foot in front of the other and sadly move on. But I just, I was thinking about her, especially today.
Yeah.
And then Becky as well, because I think, it takes an incredibly strong and incredibly good person to step into the role of being a mother, to your grandchildren, to whoever. And, she's done it not only for Kelsey and for, and Libby, but she's also done it for Cody.
Yeah.
And, I admire Becky Patty so much, and it hurts so much, like, when I see people attack her.
Yeah.
I read a comment about, I can't even, there was a comment someone left on Fig's interview with Hannah, and this was a creator that wrote this, and I can't even fathom how the words that woman typed could even be thought by someone, let alone come out of someone's mind or mouth or keyboard. It was horrific to read, and I sent it to you, Deb, but to read what this person wrote, I was like, you're lower than trash.
Yeah, even for someone, if you can't get out of your mind, you think somebody's guilty, for you to publicly say something like that.
Lower than trash.
Yeah.
Like, you don't deserve a voice because you're lower than trash.
Yeah. Right.
I was sickened by it.
Lisa said, do you even know how much kale Aspen eats in a day?
Neither does Lisa. 0.
Oh my gosh. People are crazy.
Yeah. Sunny says, finally a name that makes sense. I don't know what you're referring to, though.
What do you mean? Yeah, what does she mean?
Oh, the eating disorder.
What?
The eating disorder.
Oh.
Yeah.
Crazy. I think you probably know who that was.
It's so funny. Oh, there we go. I was trying to click on Sunny's message there, and it wouldn't let me. Justice for Libby and Abby, absolutely. Yeah, I agree, Stephanie. It is so awful what some people do to the Patties.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just stop it, people.
So we've been on for an hour and 10 minutes. I think I'm about ready to go. Is there anything you wanted to talk about before we call it a night?
Nope. I appreciate you letting me come on and hang out with you, and people that popped on with it Mother's Day. I know we're all probably a little tired.
Yeah.
And a long weekend. But yeah, I'm just, like I said, check check YouTube this week and watch for creators to be talking about the Flora fires. Support it with that link. You can scroll back and find the link where you can buy a t-shirt to support, Galen, and just keep plugging away, people. Keep your eyes and ears open for truth. And if you see somebody saying something that has been proven wrong, do it in a very nice, kind way. Share the truth with them.
Yeah, I agree. And I think also it's important. I think if you see a creator or you see something that you just know is wrong, and you think, don't engage in it. Don't give them the clicks.
Yeah.
Don't give them the views, because they're just going to keep doing it and getting more and more crazy the more interactions they get. Because sometimes that's what they want to, which is why I don't give them that. I don't give them that a lot.
There are a lot of them that's all it is for them. They don't care about the people. It's just about views. And, if I'm not monetized, if I ever am monetized, I will be doing it so that I can help out with some of these charities. But, it's okay to be monetized, obviously, because there's expenses that creators have. And I totally want them to be able to do that. And they bring you a lot of great information. But don't do it for that reason only.
Right.
Have your heart in the right place. Sunny and Aspen have always had their hearts in the right place, and a lot of other contributors do too. CD being one of them.
Right, and same with Fig. Fig's not monetized.
Yeah.
And when I did the interview with Fig last week or on Friday, I didn't monetize that video, and I could have, but
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right.
It is now, but when we were live, I didn't. Lisa says, "Are you going to cover KK on Thursday?" Like I said, I know a couple of people that are going to the sentencing, so I'm sure that Sunny and I will talk about that. I'm just not sure yet. I'm sure we'll cover it. I just don't know what it'll entail.
Right, and I'll cover it in some way too. I'm not sure why yet.
With us.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not sitting here for 8 hours though, like we did when people were.
Well, because they denied they denied having cameras in the courtroom for the sentencing.
Yeah.
Because they did, there was a request that there be cameras in the in Keegan Klein's courtroom for that, and they did deny it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, happy Mother's Day. And again, thank you for coming on tonight, and happy Mother's Day to everyone in the chat. Whether you are a mother or you have fur babies or whatever.
Yeah.
Happy Mother's
Or you've
Day.
ever mothered anyone or taken care of anyone.
Or if your name's Ray Jones and you're just a mother. Beep.
Poor Ray.
He probably went to bed. It's late for him.
Probably did.
And Miss Dog Lover, thank you so much again for the donation. I'm sorry that you fell in Greece, but mwah.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out and chilling with us, and we just had an easy little chit chat.
Yeah. Oh, I can do the outro. I can do the outro now. Let me figure out how to do this. Okay.
Oh, fun.
Okay, so I'm gonna say goodnight, everyone.
This is Sunny Justice and Aspen Connor from It's a Crime and Shame, wishing you all a good night.